The wedding was supposed to be in 3 days, and I was staring at my phone like it had just grown fangs and bitten me. The group chat notification glowed on my screen, Jenna's girls. And somehow, impossibly, I'd been added to it. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. My name is Mark Thompson, and I'm an IT specialist who apparently can't even manage his own phone notifications properly. At 35, I thought I had life figured out. Good job at a tech company in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, decent apartment overlooking the harbor, and a fiancé who made me laugh every day, or so I believed. The message that destroyed my world was from Kara, Jenna's maid of honor. Don't worry, babe. Nathan will be at the Marriott bar tonight. You can have your last hurrah before you're stuck with Mark forever. I read it 3 times, then 4. My hands started shaking, which is embarrassing for a guy who troubleshoots computer systems for a living. I'm supposed to be logical, methodical, calm under pressure, but sitting in my Honda Civic outside the florist shop, holding $300 worth of wedding boutonnieres, I felt like someone had just unplugged my brain. Nathan Kellerman. Dr. Nathan Kellerman, orthopedic surgeon at Portsmouth General, drives a silver Porsche, married to Emily, has 2 kids, and a house in Rye that probably costs more than I'll make in 5 years. I knew Nathan because Jenna worked as a medical receptionist at his practice. She'd mentioned him plenty of times. Always Dr. Kellerman this and Dr. Kellerman that. I'd even met him at a few hospital events where he'd given me that polite handshake that rich guys give to people they consider beneath their notice. Another message popped up, this one from Jenna herself. Can't wait. Mark's working late again anyway. He'll never know. Working late. I wasn't working late. I was picking up flowers for our wedding. My phone rang. Jenna's picture filled the screen, the photo I'd taken of her last summer at Hampton Beach, laughing as a wave soaked her sundress. She looked so happy, so genuine. Looking at it now made my stomach turn. Hey, baby, I answered, surprised by how normal my voice sounded. Mark, how's work? Her voice had that slightly breathless quality it got when she was lying. I'd noticed it before, but always dismissed it. Oh, you know, the usual crisis. Might be here until midnight. I was parked outside Petals and Stems, watching Mrs. Henderson arrange daisies in the window. That's terrible. Well, Kara and I are just going to have a quiet girls' night. Maybe watch some movies, do our nails, bride stuff. Sounds perfect. You deserve to relax before the big day. You're the best, Mark. I love you so much. Love you too. I hung up and sat there for a long moment, watching seagulls fight over a dropped French fry in the parking lot. The rational part of my brain, the IT troubleshooter part, started working. First rule of debugging: gather more information before making changes to the system. I opened the group chat again. There were dozens of messages I'd missed, going back weeks. My fingers scrolled through them like I was reading someone else's death certificate. Nathan says the Hilton has better room service. Did you see Mark trying to plan the honeymoon? So sweet and clueless. Nathan's wife suspects something. We need to be more careful. After Saturday, you can divorce Mark and marry Dr. Dreamy for real. Each message hit like a physical blow. 3 months of messages. 3 months of my fiancée and her friends laughing at me, planning her affair, treating our wedding like some elaborate joke. I wasn't just being cheated on, I was being mocked by people I'd considered friends. The worst part? I'd been so proud of this wedding. I'd saved for 2 years to give Jenna the perfect day. The venue at the Portsmouth Harbor Events Center cost me $8,000. The photographer was another $3,000. I'd worked overtime for months, skipped lunches, drove my Honda instead of upgrading to something nicer, all so Jenna could have her dream wedding. And she was planning to spend our wedding night thinking about Nathan Kellerman. I took screenshots of everything. Old habits from work. Always document the problem before you try to fix it. Then I sat there in my car, holding those flowers, and started to laugh. Not a happy laugh. The kind of laugh that probably would have worried people if they'd heard it. Jenna wanted to play games? Fine. But she'd forgotten something important about IT guys. We're very, very good at games, especially the kind where you have to think 10 steps ahead. I started the car and drove home, already formulating a plan. The wedding was in 3 days. That gave me 72 hours to turn Jenna's perfect day into something she'd never forget. And I was going to enjoy every single minute of it. Saturday morning dawned gray and drizzly, which seemed appropriate. I woke up at 6 a.m. in my apartment, listening to Jenna shower in the bathroom. She was humming At Last by Etta James, the song we'd chosen for our first dance. The irony was almost too perfect. Morning, beautiful, I called out, putting on my best loving fiancé voice. Morning, baby. Can you believe it? Today's the day. She poked her head out of the bathroom, hair wrapped in a towel, face glowing with excitement. For a second, I almost wavered. This was Jenna, the woman I'd fallen in love with 3 years ago. The one who'd brought me soup when I had the flu, who'd celebrated when I got my promotion, who'd cried happy tears when I proposed on the beach in Kennebunkport. But then I remembered last night's group chat messages. One last ride with Nathan before I'm stuck with boring Mark forever. I can't believe it either, I said, and meant every word. The plan was simple. Jenna was getting ready at her mom Linda's house in Kittery with the bridesmaids. I was supposed to be at the venue by 2 p.m. with the ceremony at 4. Instead, I was going to disappear. But first, I had some errands to run. At 9 a.m., while Jenna was at her hair appointment, I drove to the UPS store and mailed a package to Dr. Nathan Kellerman at Portsmouth General Hospital. Inside was Jenna's engagement ring, the 1-carat diamond that had cost me 4 months' salary, along with a note written in block letters, "Thanks for the memories. J." Next stop, the hospital parking garage. Nathan's silver Porsche was parked in his reserved spot, gleaming in the fluorescent light. I'd brought a can of washable pink spray paint from Home Depot. Across the driver's side door, I wrote "Pre-owned" in cheerful bubble letters. On the windshield, "Honk if you've borrowed this ride." I took photos of my artwork and saved them for later. Then I called the hospital's main number. "Portsmouth General, how may I direct your call?" "Hi, this is Mark Thompson from Channel 9 News. We received a tip about a vandalized vehicle in your parking garage that might be connected to a story we're investigating about medical professionals and ethics violations. Could you connect me to your public relations department?" "Oh my, let me transfer you right away." I hung up. Within 10 minutes, I was sure half the hospital would be down in the parking garage looking at Nathan's Porsche. Word travels fast in hospitals, and Nathan's reputation as the golden boy surgeon would make this even more delicious. At 11 a.m., I drove to the Portsmouth Harbor Events Center. The staff was busy setting up for our 4 o'clock ceremony. White chairs arranged in perfect rows, flowers everywhere, a beautiful archway overlooking the water where Jenna and I were supposed to exchange vows. "Mr. Thompson." The wedding coordinator, an energetic woman named Beth, rushed over. "You're early. Is everything all right?" "Actually, Beth, I need to make a change to the guest list." I handed her a USB drive. "Could you load this onto the big screen? It's a special surprise for the bride." "Of course. How romantic." If only she knew. The USB drive contained every screenshot from the Jenna's Girls group chat, formatted into a beautiful slideshow with romantic music. I'd spent 2 hours on it, making sure every message was clearly readable, every date and timestamp visible. It looked professional, like something you'd see at a corporate presentation. "Also," I continued, "I need to step out for a few minutes. If anyone asks where I am, just tell them I'm taking care of some last-minute groom duties." "No problem. We'll have everything perfect for your big moment." My big moment. She had no idea how right she was. At noon, I drove to my apartment and packed a bag. Not much, just clothes for a few days, my laptop, and some cash I'd been saving for the honeymoon. I left my wedding tuxedo hanging on the bedroom door with a note pinned to it. "Jenna, went to get some air. Enjoy your special day. You've certainly earned it." Mark P.S. Check your phone. Then I sent a group text to everyone in the wedding party. "Sorry, folks, can't make it today. Something came up. Jenna can explain everything. Have fun. Mark." I turned off my phone, threw it in a drawer, and walked out of the apartment with my bag. I had a reservation at a small bed and breakfast in York Beach, 20 miles away. Close enough to monitor the fallout, far enough to avoid the initial explosion. The last thing I did before leaving town was stop at a Starbucks with good Wi-Fi. I logged into Facebook and posted a status update. "Wedding's off, everyone. Turns out my fiancé had other plans for the honeymoon. Hope you all have a great Saturday. Sometimes the trash takes itself out." Then I created a group chat of my own, everyone who'd been invited to the wedding, and sent them the most damning screenshots from Jenna's messages. Not all of them, just the greatest hits. The ones that showed exactly what she thought of me, of our relationship, of our friends who'd spent money on gifts and travel to celebrate our love. I could picture the chaos erupting right about now. Jenna at the salon, getting the first panicked calls. Her mother Linda, who'd been so proud to tell everyone about her daughter marrying a nice boy with a steady job, fielding questions from confused relatives. The bridesmaids, realizing their private jokes were now public knowledge. And Nathan. Poor Nathan, walking out to his parking garage to find his Porsche decorated like a parade float, with half the hospital staff taking pictures. I drove to York Beach with the windows down, breathing in the salt air. For the first time in months, I felt genuinely happy. Not the fake happiness I'd been performing lately, but real, deep satisfaction. My phone, a prepaid burner I'd bought that morning, buzzed with a text from my best friend Chris, who was supposed to be my best man. "Dude, what the hell is happening? Jenna's mom just called me screaming. Are you okay?" I texted back, "Never better. Enjoy the show." The bed and breakfast was perfect. A Victorian house overlooking the ocean, run by an elderly couple who didn't ask questions. I checked in under my middle name, paid cash for 3 nights, and settled into my room with my laptop. Time to see how my wedding was going. The fallout was even better than I'd hoped. By evening, my phone was buzzing every few minutes with notifications from the social media accounts I was monitoring. I'd set up fake profiles months ago, a side effect of working in IT security, and they were paying off beautifully now. Jenna's Facebook page had become a battlefield. The post I'd made that morning had been shared 43 times, with comments ranging from supportive, "You dodged a bullet," to savage, "Always knew she was trash." But the real entertainment was watching Jenna's friends and family turn on each other in the comments. Linda, Jenna's mother, had posted, "There are 2 sides to every story. My daughter is a good girl who made a mistake." Chris, my former best man, had replied, "A mistake? Linda, she was planning to cheat on him during their honeymoon. That's not a mistake, that's a choice." The bridesmaids were in full damage control mode, but they were terrible at it. Kara had posted a long, rambling defense of Jenna that only made things worse. "Everyone makes mistakes, and Mark is being really immature about this. Jenna loves him, and she was just confused about her feelings. She never actually did anything with Dr. Kellerman." Someone had replied, "So you admit there was something to do with Dr. Kellerman?" The Portsmouth General Hospital gossip network had exploded too. Someone had posted photos of Nathan's decorated Porsche on the hospital's unofficial Facebook group with the caption, "Anyone know why Dr. Kellerman's car looks like a Valentine's Day parade float?" The comments were brutal. Apparently Nathan wasn't as beloved as he thought. Nurses and residents were sharing their own stories about his wandering eyes and inappropriate comments. One nurse wrote, "About time someone called him out. He's been hitting on staff for years." But the crown jewel was what had happened at the wedding venue. According to several posts from confused guests, the slideshow had played right on schedule at 4 p.m. Beth, the wedding coordinator, had introduced it as a special surprise from the groom and hit play just as everyone was seated for the ceremony. 200 people had watched Jenna's private messages scroll across a 10-foot screen in elegant cursive font, set to Pachelbel's canon in D. Messages like, "Mark is so boring in bed. Can't wait to see what a real man feels like. Nathan says we can go to Paris next month if I play my cards right. Poor Mark, working so hard for a wedding that's basically just my going-away party." According to the posts, Jenna had tried to run from the venue, but the doors were locked from the outside, a security feature I'd remembered from our venue tour. She'd been trapped for the full 10-minute presentation, along with everyone else. The best part? Someone had live-streamed the whole thing. The video had already been shared over 100 times, with comments like, "This is better than reality TV," and "That groom is a savage genius." My phone rang. Chris. "Mark, where the hell are you?" "Somewhere peaceful," I said. "How was the wedding?" Jesus Christ, man. It was like watching a car crash in slow motion. Jenna's mom fainted. Half the guests left before it was over. The other half were taking selfies with the screen in the background. "Sounds memorable." "Memorable? Mark, you nuked her from orbit. Her reputation is destroyed. People are calling her the cheating bride on social media. Someone made a meme out of one of her crying photos." "Good." There was a long pause. "Look, I get that you're angry. What she did was horrible. But this is pretty extreme, don't you think?" "Is it? She was planning to humiliate me for the rest of my life, Chris. She was going to take my money, my love, my trust, and throw it all away for some rich surgeon who doesn't give a damn about her. At least my way, everyone knows the truth." "What about Nathan? His wife was at the wedding, Mark. She saw everything, too." That gave me pause. Emily Kellerman hadn't done anything wrong. She was as much a victim as I was. "How did she take it?" "She walked out during the slideshow, but not before she stood up and announced that she was filing for divorce Monday morning. Then she thanked you, by name, for finally giving her the evidence she needed." Interesting. Emily Kellerman was tougher than I'd given her credit for. "Where's Jenna now?" "Last I heard, she was at her mom's house, crying and trying to figure out how to do damage control. Kara's there too, but I think they're fighting. Apparently some of the other bridesmaids are pissed that Kara knew about the affair and didn't tell them." "And Nathan?" "His car got towed from the hospital. Apparently someone called in a tip about an abandoned vehicle covered in graffiti. He had to take an Uber to the wedding, which he left halfway through the slideshow. Word is he's meeting with lawyers tomorrow, too. I felt a warm glow of satisfaction. Everything was going according to plan. Chris, can I ask you something? Sure. Are you mad at me for not telling you what I was planning? He was quiet for a moment. Honestly, part of me thinks you're crazy, but part of me thinks Jenna got exactly what she deserved. She made you look like a fool, Mark. She was laughing at you with her friends, planning to cheat on you, spending your money on a wedding she didn't even want. So no, I'm not mad. I'm impressed. Thanks, man. That means a lot. Just be careful, okay? Jenna's not going to take this lying down. She's going to want revenge. Let her try. I've got more screenshots where those came from. After I hung up, I opened my laptop and started working on phase 2 of my plan. Because this wasn't over. Not by a long shot. Jenna had spent months humiliating me in private. Now it was time to return the favor, very publicly. Monday morning brought fresh chaos. I was sitting in a diner in Kennebunkport, reading the Portsmouth Herald over coffee and eggs, when I saw the headline, "Local Wedding Becomes Social Media Sensation." The article was everything I could have hoped for. They'd interviewed several wedding guests, the venue coordinator, and even gotten a comment from the hospital about Nathan's employment status being reviewed. The journalist had clearly done their homework, painting a picture of an elaborate revenge plot that was both shocking and oddly satisfying to observers. My favorite quote came from an unnamed wedding guest. "You had to admire the planning. This wasn't some spur-of-the-moment thing. The groom had clearly been thinking this through for a while. It was like watching a master chess player reveal checkmate." But the real entertainment was still happening online. Jenna had tried to post her own version of events on Facebook, claiming I was mentally unstable and had violated her privacy. The post had backfired spectacularly. The comments were brutal. Privacy? You were cheating on your fiancée. Maybe don't put your affair plans in writing next time? Team Mark all the way. You got what you deserved. Even better, someone had created a hashtag, #Jennagate. The wedding video had been viewed over 10,000 times. Memes were spreading. Someone had made a cheating bride bingo card with squares like blames the victim and claims it was just emotional. I was scrolling through the latest posts when my burner phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Mark, this is Emily Kellerman, Nathan's wife. Or ex-wife, I guess. That was unexpected. Hi, Emily. How did you get this number? I have my ways. Can we meet? I think we should talk. An hour later, I was sitting across from Emily Kellerman at a coffee shop in Portsmouth. She looked different than I remembered from hospital events. Sharper, more focused. The kind of woman who'd been playing the dutiful doctor's wife, but was clearly capable of much more. Thank you, she said without preamble. For Saturday, I've been trying to get proof of Nathan's affairs for 2 years. Affairs? Plural? Emily laughed bitterly. Oh, Mark. Jenna wasn't his first. She wasn't even his most recent. Nathan's been cheating on me since our 2nd year of marriage. I just could never prove it. She pulled out her phone and showed me a folder labeled Evidence. It contained dozens of photos, screenshots, and documents. I hired a private investigator last year, she continued, but Nathan's careful. He uses burner phones, pays cash, meets women at hotels outside of town. Your little slideshow was the first time I had actual proof with names and dates. I'm sorry, Emily. I had no idea it was that bad. Don't be sorry. Be proud. You did in 1 day what I couldn't do in 2 years. She leaned forward. But I have a proposition for you. I'm listening. Nathan's meeting with his lawyer today, trying to figure out how to minimize the damage. He's going to throw Jenna under the bus, claim she seduced him, that he was the victim. Meanwhile, he's planning to fight me on the divorce, hide assets, make my life hell. Sounds like Nathan. Here's what I'm thinking. You want to finish destroying Jenna's reputation? I want to take Nathan for everything he's worth. We help each other. I studied her face. Emily Kellerman was clearly a woman with a plan. What did you have in mind? Nathan's been using hospital resources for his affairs, booking hotel rooms on the hospital credit card and claiming they're for medical conferences, using his office for personal meetings. I have documentation going back 3 years. That's fraud. Exactly. And grounds for termination, loss of medical license, possibly criminal charges. But I need more evidence. Recent evidence. Something that proves he's still doing it. What makes you think he's still doing it? Emily smiled grimly. Because I know my husband. This whole scandal with Jenna isn't going to make him more careful. It's going to make him desperate. Desperate men make mistakes. She was right. I'd seen Nathan's type before in the corporate world. Guys who thought they were untouchable until the first scandal hit, then doubled down on stupid decisions. What do you need from me? Nathan's going to try to contact Jenna. He's going to want to coordinate their stories, maybe even continue their affair once the heat dies down. When he does, I need proof. How do you know he'll contact her? Because he's arrogant and he's panicking. Jenna knows too much about his other affairs, his hospital scams, everything. He'll either try to win her back or threaten her into silence. Either way, he'll make contact. I thought about it. Emily was offering me a chance to completely destroy both Nathan and Jenna while helping herself get justice. It was tempting. What's in it for me? Satisfaction and information. I know things about Jenna that you don't, things that would make your revenge even sweeter. Such as? Emily pulled out another folder. Such as the fact that she's been stealing from her previous employers. Small amounts, hard to prove, but I have bank records that show deposits that don't match her salary. Nathan's been helping her launder the money through fake medical billing. My blood ran cold. Jenna was a thief. Not just a cheater, but an actual criminal. How long have you known about this? 6 months. Nathan bragged about it during one of their phone calls. He thought it was funny, helping his girlfriend steal from stupid small business owners who wouldn't miss a few hundred here and there. I felt that familiar rage building again, but this time it was colder, more focused. Jenna hadn't just betrayed me. She'd been using me as cover while she committed crimes. I'm in, I said. What do you need me to do? Emily smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. First, we need to draw Nathan out, make him think he can still salvage this situation, and I have the perfect plan. 3 days later, I was back in Portsmouth, sitting in my Honda across the street from Jenna's mother's house. Emily's plan was brilliant in its simplicity. Make Nathan think he could still control the situation by offering him exactly what he wanted, a chance to silence me. I'd posted a carefully crafted message on Facebook that morning, thinking about taking down some of my posts about recent events. Maybe it's time to move on and let people heal. Sometimes revenge isn't worth the ongoing drama. The post was designed to look like I was having second thoughts, getting tired of the attention, ready to back down. For a man like Nathan, it would be irresistible bait. Emily had been monitoring Nathan's communications. Apparently, she'd had access to his phone and email for months without him knowing. Within hours of my post, he'd texted Jenna, "The IT guy is weakening. Meet me at the usual place tonight. We can fix this." The usual place turned out to be a hotel room at the Hampton Inn, paid for with Nathan's hospital credit card. Emily had given me the room number and a key card she'd somehow acquired. She'd also provided me with a high-quality recording device and a small camera. "Just get them talking about the thefts," she'd said. "Once we have Nathan admitting he helped her commit fraud, we'll have everything we need to destroy them both." At 8 p.m., I was hiding in the hotel room's bathroom when I heard the keycard beep. Nathan's voice came through clearly. "Thank God you came. This whole situation is getting out of control." "Out of control?" Jenna's voice was sharp, angry. "Nathan, my life is ruined. I can't show my face anywhere in this town. People are calling me names, making jokes about me online. And my mother won't even talk to me. It's going to blow over. These things always do." "No, they don't. That bastard Mark made sure of that. He planned this whole thing perfectly. The slideshow, the timing, the social media campaign. He destroyed me." I felt a surge of pride hearing the grudging respect in her voice. "We just need to be smart about this," Nathan said. "I talked to my lawyer. If we stick together, present a united front, we can spin this as a love story. Two people who couldn't help falling in love, fighting against—" "Are you insane?" Jenna interrupted. "A love story? Nathan, you're married, and I was engaged. Nobody's going to see this as romantic. Emily's filing for divorce anyway. We could be together for real now." There was a long pause. Then Jenna laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. "Together? Nathan, look around. Your career is in shambles. The hospital is investigating you. Your wife is taking you for everything you're worth. What exactly are you offering me?" "I have money saved. Offshore accounts Emily doesn't know about. We could disappear, start over somewhere else." "Offshore accounts?" Jenna's voice got sharp. "You mean the money from the billing scam? Nathan, that's evidence. If they find those accounts, we're both going to prison." Bingo. I had them both admitting to financial crimes on tape. "They won't find them," Nathan said. "And even if they do, there's no direct connection to you. I made sure of that. Except for the deposits you made to my account. Nathan, I have $20,000 I can't explain sitting in my savings account. Money you said came from consulting fees that we both know were fake." "Jenna, calm down." "Calm down? I should have listened to Mark. He always said you were trouble, but I thought he was just jealous. Turns out he was right about everything." That stung, but in a good way. Even now, even after everything, some part of Jenna knew I'd been the better man. Mark doesn't know about the money, Nathan said, and he never will as long as we handle this right. How? How do we handle this, Nathan? My reputation is destroyed, your marriage is over, and we're both facing potential criminal charges. What's your brilliant plan? We make Mark look crazy, obsessive. We claim he's been stalking you, that he fabricated evidence, that he's dangerous. I have friends in the police department. We can make his life very difficult. And you think that will work? It has to work, because if it doesn't, we're both going to lose everything. I'd heard enough. I stepped out of the bathroom with my phone recording, pointed directly at them. Too late, I said. You already have. Nathan spun around, his face going white. Jenna screamed and jumped backward, knocking over a lamp. Mark, how did you... Get in here, I called toward the door. Emily walked in, followed by 2 men in suits. Nathan Kellerman and Jenna Morrison, one of the men said, showing his badge. You're under arrest for conspiracy to commit fraud and theft of services. You have the right to remain... I stopped listening to the Miranda rights and focused on their faces. Nathan looked like he was going to be sick. Jenna was crying. But they weren't tears of sadness. They were tears of rage. You son of a bitch, she screamed at me. You set us up. You set yourselves up, I replied calmly. I just gave you enough rope. Emily stepped forward, holding up her own recording device. I've been documenting Nathan's crimes for months. Tonight was just the final piece of evidence we needed. Emily, please, Nathan started, but she cut him off. Please what? Please forgive you for stealing from the hospital. Please ignore the fact that you've been helping your girlfriend commit fraud. Please pretend you didn't just suggest framing an innocent man for stalking. As the police led them away in handcuffs, Jenna turned back to me one last time. This isn't over, Mark. I'll find a way to make you pay for this. No, I said quietly. It's over. You're going to prison, Jenna. Your reputation is destroyed, your friends have abandoned you, and the man you threw away your life for just tried to pin everything on you. It's completely over. The hotel room fell silent after they left. Emily and I stood there for a moment, listening to the distant sound of car doors slamming and engines starting. How do you feel? She asked. I thought about it. 3 weeks ago, I'd been planning my wedding, excited about my future, completely in love with a woman who was planning to betray me. Now that woman was on her way to jail, along with her lover, and I was standing in a hotel room with evidence that would put them both away for years. I feel like justice was served, I said finally. Emily smiled. Good. Because tomorrow, the hospital board is meeting to discuss Nathan's termination and the criminal charges. The local news wants to interview me about the fraud case, and I'm filing a civil suit to recover every penny Nathan stole. Sounds like you have everything under control? I do, thanks to you. She paused. What will you do now? I looked out the hotel window at the lights of Portsmouth Harbor. Somewhere out there was my apartment, my job, my life. A life that no longer included Jenna Morrison or Nathan Kellerman or any of the people who'd thought it was funny to watch me get played for a fool. I'm going to go home, I said. Order some pizza, watch a movie, and sleep in my own bed. Tomorrow I'm going to go back to work and pretend none of this ever happened. You're not going to follow the trial? Watch them get sentenced? No, I'm done with them. They're not my problem anymore. Emily nodded approvingly. That's very mature of you. Or very petty. I'm not sure I care which. We walked out of the hotel together. In the parking lot, Emily turned to me one more time. Mark, for what it's worth, Jenna was an idiot to cheat on you. You're a good man. Thanks, Emily. You're pretty impressive yourself. I drove home through the quiet streets of Portsmouth, past the harbor where Jenna and I used to walk on Sunday mornings, past the restaurant where we'd had our first date, past the jewelry store where I'd bought her engagement ring. None of it hurt anymore. It was just geography now, places I'd been with someone I used to know. 6 months later, I read in the paper that Jenna Morrison and Nathan Kellerman had both been sentenced to 18 months in federal prison for fraud and conspiracy. Emily Kellerman had been awarded $2 million in her divorce settlement and had started a nonprofit organization to help other victims of financial abuse. I never saw any of them again, and I lived happily ever after.